Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Hope you had a great week. Today we're in the world of Windenburg, building on the island in Windenburg on this 20 by 20 lot, which I believe is empty by default. I don't think there's anything on this one. And we are building a house that I actually named Glass Wedge. That is because it has a solid glass wall that faces the ocean or the water here on the island. And then there's like the other parts of the house, like especially that second floor area that kind of stick out of the house, so it kind of looks like it's wedged in the house. It's a very small house, only one bed, one bath, so I didn't really create it to be a family home. It's more of like a bachelorette or just a couple's house, but it's a really beautiful house. But before we get into that and go any further, I do want to quickly mention that if you pre-order the next expansion, The Sims 4 Royalty and Legacy, from now until February 17th, you'll get 5% off your pre-order using my creator code at checkout. So thank you so much in advance if you do decide to do that, but no pressure if you don't. So yeah, to the build, I opted for some dual tone colors. We went for a lighter wood along the bottom. I believe this is open for business. No, business and hobbies. Oh my God, open for business. Thinking of The Sims 2 for a second there. Yeah, business and hobbies. And then I went for a darker like roof bit to kind of create some different interesting look to the exterior. I was going to wrap the glass around the sides here, but then I just didn't like that. And I kind of wanted more wall space for the stairs, but also a fireplace and stuff too. So it just makes sense to have just the one wall facing the water, have all of the views, which I think is beautiful. As far as the overall house style itself, think of it as a very like ultra modern minimalist kind of house. There's concrete floors, concrete walls basically throughout the house, a lot of iron beams. So it's kind of like a smash up of industrial meets ultra modern and everything in between, I guess. And then this area here, this biggest room up here, becomes the only bedroom in the house, and then there's a bathroom as well, which is kind of sectioned off there, but you'll see why a little bit later. I basically create like a little shower area, but I was gonna put the whole like second floor area on a platform, but I do end up removing the platform in the end. I wanted the shower to be on a platform, but it just wasn't gonna work how I wanted it to be. I guess I could have still did that though, thinking about it now, but it's a little too late for that. House is already done. House is on the gallery, so it doesn't really matter. In the entryway here, this will become the kitchen. I was just trying to figure out wallpapers here. At first, I was going for this wallpaper with like a wood bottom on it, but then I'm like, oh, I don't know if I really like that. And then I found this concrete wall, which I think is from one of the kits. I don't remember which one. I want to say Desert Luxe, but I could be wrong. And then we select some doors into the rooms, and you can see this is where I was trying to figure out how to get a step up or step down into the primary bedroom. But every time I did that, the roof trim edges would stick through the walls, and I'm like, well, we can't not have the roof trim. And I didn't want to pick a different one because I really liked the look of this one. So that's when I just removed the entire platform that I had there on the other side. And I was going to put some skylights in the like hallway area and into the bathroom area using glass roofs, but I decided against that because there's already so much natural light anyway, and I felt like the primary bedroom didn't really need that. We took a fireplace in the corner there, which is from Businesses and Hobbies, and now we are working on the kitchen, which I used Home Chef Hustle and one of the kits, actually a couple of different kits, to kind of make the kitchen, and a couple of different packs as well. Just some clutter and stuff, but there is a sink and then a cooktop, which I believe is Dream Home Decorator. And then the fridge is from one of the kits. I don't remember which one. It's the more recent one that came with like the grocery bag and stuff like that. I'm drawing a blank on the name, but it's okay. It doesn't matter. And now I'm just putting some lights around the build to make it nice and bright. So obviously when it's dark, Sims can see. These iron beams that you see throughout, they do not disappear. They're just part of the structure, but I think it's a really cool look to the build, especially when we get into the screenshots and stuff. When you get down on like sim level, you get to see the ceiling, which I decided to do in wood. So it looks really nice. If you do want to grab this build, it is available on the Sims 4 gallery. Here's the gallery listing. I just called it Glass Wedge. 20 by 20 lot, one bed, one bath. And 42,377 simoleons, and there's 18 packs and kits in total, but the gallery will tell you which ones you need. It's actually pretty affordable, I must say. It really wouldn't be that hard to get, like, with your Sims. So, I mean, unless, of course, you like to use the money cheats like I do. So, yeah. And yeah, I built it in Windenburg, which came with the Get Together expansion. So I really do like this part of Windenburg, and I'm actually looking forward to the newer coastal world that comes with Royalty and Legacy. And speaking of Royalty and Legacy, on the 29th of January, The Sims actually released a gameplay trailer. So I'll link that in the video description below if you didn't see that yet or missed it or whatever. That way you can check it out and kind of see what kind of gameplay is coming if you're into that. And also you obviously get to see some of the other stuff. Like in the background, if you pay attention, you can see different objects and things. So that's always a plus, I guess. So if you're into that, that's in the video description. But yeah, that's about it. I have to say, I'm glad we're now on to February 1st. January just always feels like a super long month. I think because it's like so dark, like it gets dark so early, but it's also so cold. And especially where I live, it's very cold and also snowy. So it's just a real drain. Like I think we saw the sun maybe twice this month. So it's almost like I'm a vampire or something. I don't know, but definitely miss the sunshine. It's always nice when you at least do get to see it. And I can't wait for some springtime and just warmer weather and not this bitter Arctic cold weather that we've been experiencing. At least like normal temperatures would be fine, but this is like a totally different level of cold. And then the wind too is also really bad. But down here in this little 2x2 square, I just did a sink and a toilet, just a nice little quick powder room here. That way your Sims don't have to go all the way upstairs to, fulfill their bladder needs. And now we're working on the bathroom, which I opted for dual showers, toilet in the corner, double vanities, and a tub in front of the giant glass wall. Obviously, there's no privacy in this bathroom. But since it faces the water, and of course there's really nobody around, like the neighbors are few and far between on the island here, I don't think that's really an issue. And it's absolutely beautiful here. Like you can just watch the waves kind of crashing. And it's a really nice spot to build and also to live and have a house. We're now working on the bedroom, and I opted for this businesses and hobbies bed along with the side tables, the lamps. I think came with one of the more recent kits. And I did put in this black base game dresser, but we come back later on and changed it out for a businesses and hobbies kind of open dresser with just some hanging clothes, which I liked a lot more, especially the look of it. Kind of just tied the whole room together. But all in all, this is a pretty simple room. I didn't put anything like a home office or a computer in here. I figure if you really need that, you could just like put a laptop at the dining room table or just create a small little office space somewhere with a laptop or whatever, rather than have a whole dedicated office. Now I'm just figuring out some artwork in the bedroom and in the hallway space here. And then I also hung one up down here in the dining space as well, just for something else. Now we're moving back into the kitchen to finish up the clutter and decorations. So I found this shelf, which came with one of the expansions. I'm not certain, but it's always so large. So I sized down just by one using the bracket keys. And then I found the mailbox, which I wanted. So we got rid of the other default mailbox. Later on, I do that. And I also placed a car from Business and Hobbies, just decorative, but I thought it was nice to have here, even though you're like on an island. But, I kind of imagine there would be a ferry where your Sims could, take their car across. Obviously, that's how it would work in my mind anyway. Surrounding the house in a tile, and then I do complete the landscaping, but I complete the landscaping off camera. It's actually pretty minimal and simple, but it ties well with the surroundings in this part of the world. Like it fits perfectly. There's a small pool here. It's like a 2-tile wide pool. I kind of was thinking more of like a lap pool, just something extra. Since I don't think your Sims can swim in the water here in Windenburg, so that's unfortunate, but I thought a pool was just a nice little touch. But here is the finished glass wedge house. I really love that you can see like the interior, like on that whole back wall, like both floors. It's really pretty. We do have open doors on the dining room at the side here. And then of course you get the beautiful views and the landscaping and everything. This is the top down floor plans of both floors. And then we move in on the inside. I did place a bike by the front door just in case your Sims wanted to use that. There's also the burglar alarm. And that's the kitchen. Very simple, very minimal. Probably could have used a window on that back wall, but I feel like there's enough windows and light in the house anyway. This is the dining space right off the kitchen, and I really like using the open doors there. It's really nice, but everything's very simple and clean. This is now stepping into the living room space, the fireplace going in the corner, and the TV on the wall is one of the frame TVs. And then this is facing the opposite way with the beautiful staircase. I opted for no railings because I didn't want the railing clipping into the glass wall window. So even though it's kind of a safety hazard, it isn't really. And then this is the primary bedroom, and then we move into the bathroom. But I do hope you enjoyed this quick little speed build on this small little house for your Sims. It is available on the gallery. My EAID is just TheSimified, so you can go grab it, put it in your game, play in the beautiful house. And yeah, that's all I had for this one. I do thank you for watching, and I will see you very soon with another build.